Hello wonderful people, it's me Anjy. As requested by a couple of people, this is my toxic friendship video. So let's jump straight into it. I have quite a few things to say, so to make sure I don't forget anything, I am looking at my phone once again. So the first thing you need to do is to identify toxic friends, and something that is not very nice to understand is that sometimes you may be the toxic friend. I have been the toxic friend. You have probably been the toxic friend. I've had lots of toxic friends, and sometimes you get cut off and cut out of people's lives, and sometimes you cut people out of your lives. Over the summer, across my social media platforms, I have blocked at least 300 people, which is really freeing and liberating, and it means that I can have a fresh start. I think I'm gonna have to acknowledge the fact that I have moved hundreds of miles away from where I used to live. So obviously cutting people out of my life is a lot easier because I don't have to see them every day. But you also have to acknowledge in year 11, I was still going through a similar process, and I still had to see certain people every day, even if I really didn't want to. So I understand where a lot of you guys are coming from. So to identify a toxic friend, this could be someone that when you're with them, you are always getting in trouble with teachers, or when you're with them, you're doing things that may not stand right with you, stand right with your morals. If you're religious, for example, it might be someone who pulls you away from the things that you believe in. There are a lot of traits of toxic friends, and if you want a full video on that, I can definitely make that for you, but typically it's people who you don't feel so great with, either when you're with them or afterwards. So they might constantly be pulling you down, constantly being mean, constantly being selfish, and this is when you have to make the decision about communication. Do you want to pull that person aside and talk to them? Because being ghosted is not fun. I don't like being ghosted. You probably don't like being ghosted. And sometimes that is the best thing to do, unfortunately, but you have to prioritize your own well-being and health at the end of the day. So when you pull the person to the side, or they pull you to the side, you need to talk about them and be like, do you know you are doing this thing that is making me feel some type of way? Do you understand that I do not appreciate you constantly undermining me or belittling me or not being nice? Because there's a line, there's sarcasm, there's banter, and then there's being just downright rude and pulling someone down to make yourself look better. Or you do understand that when you were in that situation and you brought up something that happened 5 years ago, it made me uncomfortable. Like, for what reason? Like, you have to articulate your feelings, and it might be difficult. You might want to scream and cry, and that is perfectly okay. But sometimes you have to realize, if there's a pattern, tip number 3, look out for patterns, then the person doesn't need to be in your life. It doesn't matter if you have good memories with them. It doesn't matter how much you love that person. But if you're looking and you're consistently seeing that every time you're with this person, they are always trying to make fun of you, always trying to pull you down, always trying to make you look like you are in a negative light, if you are not in the wrong, then maybe you shouldn't be hanging around them, no matter how much you love them. But at the same time, you have to have a certain level of self-awareness and look in the mirror and be like, hey, maybe I am the wrong person, and this person is just trying to let me know. Are they right for letting me know what I'm doing wrong in front of everyone? No, that's not very tactful. They should probably pull me to the side. However, if you are in the wrong, that's when you need to make the changes, and you need to be proactive with yourself. And if you realize you're self-centered and selfish, for example, you have to be like, hey, that's not chill. We need to change this so we can improve ourselves. The next thing to do is limit contact. If ghosting the person isn't the right thing to do, which 9 out of 10 times it isn't, then you might want to sit somewhere else in class, or you might want to respond less to their memes on social media. And I know that hurts. When you look at a meme, you're like, I just want to send it to this person, and you can't. But it sends a message, and it sets barriers, and there's a line. And when you're limiting contact, it makes it easier. It's like weaning yourself off the friendship. You go from being like sisters or siblings really tight to, okay, now there's some distance. And that makes it easier if you feel the need to block them on social media. And sometimes you have to understand, if you're blocking one person, you're blocking the other people with them. With me, the reason I ended up blocking so many people is that, oh, maybe I only wanted to block 10 people, but I also made a decision to block all of their friends as well, because I don't want that kind of energy. I know I let my friends see what's going on my social media, so if there's someone who you don't want access to your life anymore, maybe their best friends are not the best people to have on your social media, because best friends send things around. Block button is powerful. A lot of people are scared of it. I remember the first time I ever blocked someone on social media, I was terrified, I was really worried. Now I don't even think twice. A block button is a powerful thing because not only can you keep these people out of your lives, but if there's a certain type of influencer or celebrity you do not want to see, if you block them, it controls your feed. If I don't want to see celebrity X, when I block them, all their fan accounts, all their everything, it's eventually going to have to leave my feed because Instagram sees I'm not into it. Yes, if we are talking politically, it's not the best idea to only have one point of view in your social media. You can become a sheep, X, Y, and Z, but if we're talking about friendships and how you feel, then blocking people is a way to go. On top of that, limit your access to social media. If you're getting rid of toxic friends, I'm assuming that you are trying to improve yourself. If you are constantly on social media, that is not a way to improve yourself. Even if you are an influencer and that is your lifestyle, how is social media improving you? Yeah, there are nice threads on Instagram, but you can find the same threads on Pinterest, for example, and Pinterest is not as toxic as a lot of these platforms. I've had to personally limit my access because it changes the way you see yourself, and that is a whole nother topic. But the next thing you need to do when you're getting rid of toxic friends is to focus on yourself. Sometimes if you get rid of a toxic friend, they may go and spread things about you. And the thing is, when people can't control you anymore, they try to control other people's perceptions of you, which is not a great thing, but it means that when you're getting rid of certain people in your life, it may be a domino effect and you may end up as a loner, and you have to be okay with that. You have to learn that being alone is okay. You came into this world alone, you're gonna leave this world alone, so you might as well get used to being on your own from time to time and do character development, personal development. It might mean you go to the library more, but if you're in the library more and you're being productive more, then you're going to be getting better grades. Or if you go to the gym more when you're even hanging out with your friends, then you're getting healthier and you're improving yourself. Sometimes getting rid of toxic friends is the best thing to do because it's a weight off your shoulder, and it can be difficult and you will cry a lot, especially if you are really close. You may still be finding yourself crying about losing these friendships a year or even 2 years afterwards if it was that close and that deep. But you have to understand, sometimes you have to do the best thing for yourself. And yeah, those are my tips, a geek's guide to cutting off toxic friends. Share this video with your friends. Maybe I'm not trying to send a message or anything, but if your friend is struggling and you think they need to cut out some people, this may be the video for them. And as always, make sure you wonderful people give this a thumbs up if you enjoy it. Smile, subscribe, study hard, slay hard, and I will see you guys again very soon. Bye.